Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pro Antagonist channel. We're gonna do a video. I've been sent a video by one of my trusted comrades about the top 30 supposed strongest characters in One Piece. I am up to date on the manga, aside from literally the chapter coming out later this week. We'll figure out if these are even reasonably real takes. I don't know if it's gonna be good. I don't know if it's gonna be bad. I'll probably disagree with it, but I wonder how bad it'll be. That'll be the fun part.
Well, ladies, gentlemen, and anybody else, it's the beginning of the new year, and I just got off the phone with Eiichiro Oda himself, a full-on 3-hour in-depth discussion on every single character, so that Oda and I could finally come out with the official top 30 strongest characters in One Piece. So without further ado...
30? Crocodile? 31 is Crocodile? Hold on, wait a minute, wait, hold on, yeah, what? What? No, come on. Crocodile, first of all, I know this guy wasn't really talking to Oda, but second of all, Crocodile? I mean, of the characters we've actually seen in the New World thus far, by the way, big spoilers in this video if you didn't already know that. The dude hasn't really done anything yet. He hasn't been in a fight. How do we even know? We haven't even seen a feat. No post Marineford feats from Crocodile, 0. None, nothing. Forming an organization with another one of the former 7 warlords. That's it. How do you get 31? How did they get 31?
Now, it took me some time coming up with how to make this video stand out, so I figured what better way to top this by one-upping them and making it a top 31 list. And I figured Mr. Claw was the best guy to fill this spot, and to be honest, we are mainly bounty scaling here with a little bit of Oda woman tax. It's between Croco and Hancock, but they gave him a...
Just so because they gave him... They switched the numbers... Boa Hancock was 1659 and Crocodile's was 11965. That's how you're doing it. That's the tiebreaker between him and her. That's the tiebreaker. Why are they even in the conversation? Why are they in the top? Why are they like almost in the top 30? How is that even a thing? Maybe they're not counting any characters who are dead. I'll give them that. If there's no dead characters, that slightly works to the favor, but I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Bounty scaling is also bad for power scaling. Being worth about 2 billion doesn't mean that you're actually like that strong. It just means you're dangerous.
Higher bounty and a Y chromosome, and unless Ivankov's got something to say about that, Croc is getting the pity 31st place. Anyway, this dude may not have done anything besides get rid of some fodder since Marineford, but his performance at Marineford was pretty damn solid, and we know that when this dude had a drive and some grit in his younger years, he was a New World boss. And modern Croc, buddy, clearly has a bit more swagger to him than the one we met in Alabasta.
I mean, Marco at 30? Marco at 30! This list is already terrible. How do you come up with a Crocodile who's not had anything? We've seen nothing from Crocodile for like freaking 15 years. Marco? You're putting like Whitebeard's right-hand dude as number 30. How the fuck do you get that? This has to be a rage bait video. This has to seriously be like the how the fuck Marco at 30? 30.
And then starting off a true non-Fugazi filler list, we have Mr. Stallman
Motherfucker could fight an admiral like no diff.
Truly a generational glow up. I mean, looking like this at 46, and then we turn it around, you're looking like this at 48.
That's because of canon weird shit. They didn't have good art of him in the manga. They just put Whitebeard guy number 3, and then he actually was a thing.
I tell you, bud, whatever you did, it's working for you. Keep doing it. But my problem with him is that he is a support character. He's just not much of a fighter. Marco,
what?
You're a healer in an RPG. Useful, no doubt. But when it's not a crew v crew, all those heal spells are just not the same. Though even despite Buddy's clear attack output flaws, he is still an excellent stallman, being able to handle both King and Queen for quite a while before the wings were ready to take the stage.
See?
And while he didn't do much significant damage, being able to handle a 2v1 against Kaido's top guys is still incredibly impressive.
How do you rank
Additionally,
30
we all know
unless
he
there's
had a heck of a performance on Marineford, and while I think people spit shine his boots a little too much for that performance, he still was able to block attacks from characters much stronger than him due to his absolutely busted devil fruit. Unfortunately for Marco,
and the
Buddy
hockey,
just doesn't
dude,
have the hockey for me or Oda to justify putting him any higher on our list.
You know what?
And this is really just Yonko Commander Isle. Coming up on the list, we have Big Simp Sanji. And yes, I do think that at this point in the story, Sanji is above Marco. Despite what the Toei higher-ups may try to convince you of, well, this guy may have had a bit of a stinker performance on Wano compared to the other wing. He was looking pretty elite on Egghead, being able to blitz Mr. Gandhi, the clear...
Look, I'll be honest. Sanji's pretty busted. He's pretty good, like, at this point in the series. I still don't think... I think that's a hot take at the very least. It's not... Goes from Crocodile to literally Marco the Phoenix.
Fastest scorer. So yes, he may have immediately gotten treated like a wad of chewing tobacco, but I'll give him a pass. Sometimes you get caught by some low-tier nonsense. Additionally, scoring the game-saving field goal on Kizuru's laser buddy, leaving him sweating buckets and rethinking the entire property of light itself. His very own power. Tough from Sanji, you just got to admit that.
Marco to Sanji is a lot better than freaking Crocodile to Marco.
Then we look at his performance versus Queen. He absolutely beat the brakes off that tubby bum from pillar to post. People need to wake up from the Matrix and realize that Sanji really wasn't struggling once he locked in. He basically turned Buddy into a football and gave a solid set of keepy ups. And we are yet to see anybody below these two have a performance against the character of Queen's caliber. I'm just not going to lie to y'all. People forget, man, this guy was nowhere near as close to full health as Zoro was in their respective scraps. And while this hasn't exactly happened yet, when I was on the phone with Oda, he did confirm to me that Sanji is unlocking Aycock and Elbaf in order to save Nami when Summers tries and takes her as his wife. Plus, we just got that one statement saying that they're equals in strength, and while the evidence may very harshly say otherwise, I mean, still a good statement, but fair enough.
Yamato. Alright, this is reasonable again. I don't know if Yamato's quite all that, but I think this is still reasonable.
Yes, man, despite all the accusations of being a Vin Simp Sanji fan, I still have to put Yamato above him on the power ranking. Sanji is just not yet to have a feat as good as stalling hybrid Kaido. I mean, he was putting on that pressure, stopping Kaido from doing a little bit of that child abuse for as long as possible. I mean, he went ball for ball with a blast breath, went Kanabo for Kanabo with a Thunder Baga.
This guy is also mistaking, you know, someone identifying as Kozuki Oden as someone identifying as male.
Which about is clear confirmation to Aycock that we're going to get in a story like One Piece. Following that, he damn near gave Buddy one of those Looney Tunes goose eggs with a hollowed Glacier Slash, and even hit him with a nasty chin check, smacking the dumb bum upside his chinny chin chin. And yes, well, he clearly was gonna lose if not for Luffy clutching it up. Still goes to show you the high regards that Oda holds him in. Then there's the brief encounter with Goat Bull, which he didn't really do a thing, but that was at the request of Momonosuke, his superior, so I'll let that slide. And if he did ask Yamato to dance, he would have danced and had a decent scrap with the tree. That's all I got to say.
Yamato's pretty good.
Oda and I had a very long conversation about the Yamato cover story because we all know how beloved it is. And he was telling me the Yamato had more of a journey of a self-discovery rather than one of strength. And at least to me, he doesn't have the narrative importance of Momonosuke, so I don't think he's going to get any super substantial amp.
See, Zoro's all the way down here at 27. He's within one placement. One placement of separation between Zoro and Sanji. This is already starting to look kind of weird. Like, given who they put where, I'm wondering... I am really wondering what the justification is going to be from here on out. Unless they have
and
dead
above
characters.
Yamato, I do indeed have Roronoa Zoro. And before y'all start throwing the sword swallowing accusations at me, let me break this down for y'all. I know I was just glazing Yamato's scrap with Kaido. I kind of do think it's a little overblown.
Zoro also had a really good scrap with Kaido
given
and
that
King.
domestic dispute. We've never seen Zoro have a prolonged fight with someone stronger than him since just clashes and exchanging blows with the Gorosei and Yonko. But if we actually do a little bit of MMA math here, we saw Luffy match and even exceed Kaido in speed while in Gear 5th. And then on A-Kid, we saw a Gear 5 that Luffy had a better grasp of get matched by Roberto Lucci in their fight. And then we look at Zoro and Lucci. Although Zoro may not have dealt with Lucci as fast, he was still clearly able to blitz him when he locked in with a Hahuva Hunt. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that Zoro will be able to keep up with Kaido for moments. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's simply true.
I think this is kind of just like, this list is going to be weird because if you have 26 people stronger than Zoro at current Zoro, first of all, it still bothers me that they had the succession go from Crocodile to then like actually other good characters, strong characters. Crocodile, then Marco, then Sanji, then Yamato, then Zoro. This doesn't seem like there's going to be a whole lot of people left unless they're just overrating some people. There's got to be someone overrated here.
Additionally, pre-King of Hell, Zoro was able to damage Kaido. So no matter how insignificant it is, Zoro's only got multiple times.
Like, Kaido's commanders can't be up there if that's the case.
When we look at Egghead too, not only did he whoop Lucci, he was able to leave Gandhi a little moist after his ACOG started spilling out, leaving him tumbling backwards, admittedly, with an absolute beauty of a right hand from Jinbei, but I was still impressed with that clash. I just was. And you remember what I told you about Sanji unlocking his own ACOG and Elbaf? You're not going to believe the performance of a lifetime that pirate hunter Zoro is about to put on Elbaf.
Also, he keeps saying little ACOG? It sounds weird. Just say Conqueror's Haki. Conqueror or something like that. Man, this is also speculative. Dude, Sabo didn't even beat Doflamingo, man. Sabo was super useless in that arc. Compared to, like, he was fighting Jesus Burgess. And he wasn't, like, he barely did anything. Dude barely did anything even in the post-Reverie stuff.
Yes, I'm sticking with my guns, but despite Sabo being pretty insufficient on feats, I've still got Buddy at number 26 on my list. We are the second in command of the Revolutionaries. We are going to bully the God Knights, and
so this is kind of a speculative pick, and he's kind of admitting that, I think.
We are going to topple Akainu. Here's the thing about Sabo. As a true fan, sometimes it's not enough for facts. Sometimes you gotta have faith.
Right.
The guy is the chief of staff and basically the public face of the
number
revolution.
2 of the Revolutionary
One of the biggest
Army,
factors in the final war. The only commander in the it all depends on who finds a panel. This is aura. This is narrative importance. And you know this is Sabo, so we gotta get super schizo about it. But in the anime, out of all the characters they decided
I don't understand why.
They decided to pick Sabo to be the person they showed before the 4 emperors. Now I might be crazy, and I am, but that might mean something. But let's break it down. From what we've actually seen, he stalled a half-hearted Fujitora for a bit a decade ago. Was Dressrosa, Zoro, or Luffy doing that? No shot, bud. Zoro damn...
Yeah, but Dressrosa, Luffy, and Zoro weren't anything compared to current Luffy and Zoro.
Near got sent to China after a brief...
Friggin' Marco was able to fight admirals. Like, actually fight them. So I don't really know what you're going on about at this point.
Encounter with the blind boss. Then he one-shot a Yonko commander after he got tired of playing with his food with a power that he got just hours before. Absolute boss. But to be honest with Sabo, all I gotta say to you, buddy, the key is to wait. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to do nothing. Whew. Chills, bro. Chills. And now, buddy, now that I got everyone heated calling Sabo the lame emperor or something, I need you to stop the AstroTurfed anti-Sabo agenda by leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing to the channel.
What's wild is it's not even an anti-Sabo take. He just hasn't done anything. Again, same thing with the Crocodile. Like, how the hell... You need to do something before I'm going to put you higher on this list. I will at least give... I will give you that Sabo is about where, like, at least in the ballpark of where I'd put him.
But unironically, this video took me a minute to make, so I would, for real, really appreciate that. Thank you.
They're going to be overrating some people, man. Law.
Trafalgar D. Waterlaw at number 25 on the list. And yes,
he had a tag team with Eustace Kid to take down Big Mom, but he's pretty impressive. I can respect even if I disagree. I think Zoro's probably better than Law.
I know it's cool to hate Law right now because he's not up right now. But when this guy comes back with his Punk Hazard level swagger, I know we'll stop the anti-Law cope. This dude went to absolute war with Blackbeard, giving him a scrap of a lifetime. And he would have won if Van Augur didn't have the fluke fruit and was able to recover Teach after getting absolutely domed by Law's Shock Vila. I mean, this guy was looking rough and rowdy after jumping.
Man, you can't justify Blackbeard taking a hit as a feat the same way because Blackbeard likes to do that. He just does it. Like, Blackbeard's gonna be way higher on this list, I guarantee. But he just takes hits like nobody's business. He can do stuff. He can do a lot of shit. But Blackbeard is kind of like, he's sort of a bullshitter type fighter. He doesn't do the big thing at first. He'll take the big hit.
Law and his fraudulent crew. You used rat tactics and still couldn't squeak out a clean win. That's all I gotta say. I know a lot of the Law downplay comes from the fact that this dude is built a little twinkish. You know, he may be a little thin,
not downplay.
But this guy is actually insanely durable, dude. He may not have taken as much punishment as Eustace Kid, but he still took some
I think
serious
it's more
hits
reasonable.
from Big Mom. And also clashed evenly with a Gura, a fruit with one of, if not the biggest amps to physical strength. I just think that Law stocks are low right now, and I'm gonna give you some honest to goodness advice, bud. Buy the dip, boys.
Buy the dip. I can take it. Scopper Gabon, alright. I can
Now it's time to start talking about the old heads of the era. We have Gabon and Rayleigh taking up the 24 and 23 spot.
Oh, he's doing two at once.
Even in their old age, they still have the greatest feats amongst any first commanders, with Gabon handling the Holy Knights, even scrapping with a Luffy, who was able to box with Kaido and Base. Then we get Rayleigh, who was able to damage Kizaru, and while still rusty and dusty, put up a decent showing against
these are good takes.
Not only that, but this dude was able to brutally table and rattle Black.
Kind of like with Zoro and Sanji, I don't know that I can believe that number 2 and number 3 are so close together, but it just kind of feels like, you know, they are old. I'll give you that, and this is all somewhat speculative anyway, because you've never seen half these people push their limit the way that you've seen, you know, a Luffy or a crocodile, or some of the other characters, Law, Zoro, Sanji. We have better understandings of them, so I'll take this.
Just by doing a little bit of that millionaire strut. This dude Blackbeard was handling himself versus Baby Mihawk, Hancock, and Captain Kobe himself. But as soon as Rayleigh showed up, Blackbeard skedaddled, buddy. He was nowhere to be seen. Genuinely, these guys in their old age have significantly better feats than what we've seen in their prime forms. But scaling isn't just feats, and we had to take narrative into account. And the story is clearly telling us that Rayleigh and Gabon are no pushovers, not at all, but that doesn't mean they're going to be winning scraps with any top tiers.
I love how we got Ben Beckman number 22 over the other two. He pointed a gun at Kizaru. That was his major feat. And this is where I'll come back and say, like, I would place Beckman really high just because of who he is, but we haven't seen fucking anything from this man. We have seen nothing, basically. Ben Beckman is a giant mystery wrapped in an enigma. For a character introduced in chapter fucking 1 of the story, we have seen nothing of this
After the past commanders, we have the current strongest commander in One Piece, Ben Data Book Man. And yes, we have absolutely nothing other than cliff notes and citations to be putting this guy on the list. No, he did not scare Kizaru. He had him looking the exact same way Kiz was looking when Apu started hitting him with the skibbity bop and data. Like, this isn't really a feat.
But at this point, we shouldn't expect Kizaru to be on here.
It is legitimately just hype moments and aura. But this guy does have the statements of being Shanks' moon, which I think is more of a comment on their relationship. But even if I'm wrong, why haven't we seen him do anything on the level of Shanks yet? Out of every character on the list, we arguably know the least about Beckman, even less than Emu himself. And with him likely not being one of the major players in the final saga, it's hard to think he's going to have a top tier performance.
I don't know, man. If Shanks is a player, I don't see why Ben Beckman wouldn't be.
That's gonna put him up with the true top tiers. And after having a brief discussion with Oda about the dude, he didn't really give me any tidbits that would get me believing he's up there with
He's only probably even middle-aged.
He's
probably still quote-unquote peak Beckman. Bum Goku?
Then beating the...
So, Sengoku, 21. See, this is the thing. You have the former freaking Fleet Admiral of the Navy, of the Marines, Sengoku, 21. Doesn't even crack top 20. Most of the time, like, a lot of these older lists, you would see Sengoku in top 10, if not really close. So I'll give you that there are some other newer characters, but, like, Sengoku at 21, that's a little bit rough. I don't know that I believe that. I feel like he might be better, but again, it's almost a speculative take because again, we've seen nothing from this man since Marineford, but he turned into a giant golden Buddha, smashed shit, and was up there mopping the floor with a Garp back in the day. But again, with a lot of these takes, it's very hard. I guess I can't knock this too much, but it seems like the people above Sengoku, there's 20 people currently actively alive above Sengoku. That's gonna be wild.
The commander tier characters, we have the top bum, Sengoku the Buddha, and despite this guy being the biggest leech in the series, trying to get upscaled to Garp's level because of statements. But you weren't on God Valley, bud. You were swinging and missing with Suru, leaving the goat hanging. But still, this guy was an admiral, and then got a pity promotion to Fleet Admiral, and he was quite a crafty technician. And we do indeed have confirmation.
I mean, he's not really a fighter
per se, which is pretty dang important in competition amongst the top tiers.
I mean, almost every person on this list so far probably has Conqueror's Haki. If they don't already have it confirmed, it's like, aside from Crocodile maybe, but yeah, like I don't know. We're pretty much all Conqueror's Haki users at this point.
With that, he has an absolutely top tier Devil Fruit, the Buddha Fruit. But this guy has clearly let himself go in recent years, constantly eating his salty snacks.
I can see.
Not good for your health, but we don't want to see you having a cope sesh about how you gassed out during your big return bout.
He's gone soft. That's the take here.
And I mean, in general, all that desk work can't be good for your back, but Sengoku just clearly hasn't been staying in as good shape as Mr. Garp. Unfortunately for those two Sengoku fans out there, he's sitting just outside of the top.
Ain't nobody
20.
has that guy as their favorite character. Nah, that's bullshit.
The laughing stock of the Admiral agenda. I mean, this guy is basically the Yamcha of the world government.
20 is no. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with all that shit. No way. Nope. Garbage take. How do you have literally all of the people he had? He has like every subordinate, pretty much every Yonko commander, quote unquote. I think. Wait, does this mean that he's putting Crocodile at 31, probably for rage bait, above freaking Mochi Man? We got your boy. The boy with the mole spear. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. I'm thinking of him right now, and it's Luffy versus Katakuri. That's what it is. Katakuri. That's the guy. That's the guy. Katakuri's not here. Every other commander, like Rayleigh, Gaban, Marco, Ben Beckman, everyone is here. And then we're starting with an admiral. I don't know, man. I think this is bullshit.
Let's be honest, bud. This guy got introduced into Wano for film red promo. He is the definition of a hype tool. I mean, Oda and I were... Bro, Oda and I... Oh, my God. This guy's so funny. Oda and I were having a hoot and a holler laughing at him. Man, he's so...
Ain't nobody believes your bullshit, man.
Jokes was telling me he was looking at ticket sales, and they damn near tripled after the brutal dunk sesh by Mr. Shanks. Fair play, bud. You got to make that money. But anyway, yes, bud, that performance was quite embarrassing. But if we're being honest, prior to that, he was handling the Ayazaka 9 pretty well. Granted,
yeah, but the Ayazaka 9 suck.
They were injured, but still, wounds recover relatively quickly in one piece.
Compared to these, the other people on this list, I would just assume everyone in the 9 Red Scabbards is kind of just low diff.
But the main thing that makes me leave this guy lower than the other admirals is that the Monster Trio plus the Bluefish were not nervous whatsoever about Green Bull. I mean, Sanji was disappointed and Zoro was impressed by Momonosuke's performance. Let's be honest for a second, guys.
Dude.
If Kaido pulled back up to Wano, would Luffy and the other 3 powerhouses be sitting there twiddling their feet, chewing at their fingernails? No, they would be out there trying to give
Why do you have Green Bull so high?
Buddy the works. Oh, and yeah, I will give credit where credit is due for packing up Weevil. That is quite the impressive performance from the boy. Granted, we know literally nothing about Weevil. Oh, and I figured
Weevil's
I should
another
address
entirely question mark character.
Green Bull, the fact that the Navy is stronger than ever, which on the surface, I mean, that sounds great. Yeah, you're right. But let's break down the math. They gained 2 admirals for the price of Kuzan. Obviously, that's a win. They now have a stronger fleet admiral, with Sengoku still staying around, by the way. And then they have the Seraphim, with the Navy themselves considered to be an upgrade over the...
I'm wondering if he's gonna like put the Seraphim, or he's gonna have all the different, like the 5 of them will all be the weird Gorosei things.
Warlord system. And they even have Captain Kobe. I mean, clearly they're stronger, right? Dude, you have no idea how badly I wanted to have a Fugazi Kobe placement at 31, bro, but I just couldn't justify it. It's on me.
Jupiter.
And now we get to the incredibly tedious part of the list. Well, we have to start breaking down the Gorosei. And boy, howdy, now this is rough and tough, but we decided on putting Jupiter at number 20 on the list for one main reason. This is the only Gorosei that doesn't have Conqueror's Haki,
so Jupiter
at least. Plus, he's the youngest looking one. And Oda did indeed confirm that my analysis on this was correct, that Jupiter is set up to be the weaker of the 6 Gorosei. So let's move on. You don't want to hear me talk about the Gorosei for the end of time, and I quite frankly don't want to talk about them either, so let's just move on, bud.
Oh, it's Marcus Mars.
Aw, man, we're in rough alley. Next up on the list, we have Marcus Mars. I got this dude next up, mainly because of the screen time we've seen from him. He was one of the least important and interacted with Gorosei on Egghead. Oda and I agreed that Mars just doesn't have the portrayal or the importance of the top 3 Gorosei. Though specifically, I have him above Jupiter because he does indeed have Conquerors and has a significantly cooler fruit than the phallically shaped worm. So yeah, the guys here, that's all I gotta say.
The world eater worm. Nah, see, this is all bullshit. See, dude, no. I don't buy it for a second. I think that the gravity shit would be annoying to deal with, but there's no way. There's no way on earth you're gonna tell me everyone's number 2 is worse than Fujitora. This basically everyone's number 2 is already on the list. The Revolutionary Army's number 2. All of the Yonko commanders, aside from maybe Katakuri, if he's saving that one for later, because maybe. And how the hell you get this point? How?
Then we have Mr. Fujitora serving as the grocery store divider between the Gorosei. And I have this guy that much higher than Greenbow due to the narrative importance this guy has when compared to Greenbow. He served his purpose, while Oda clearly has a much bigger role for Fujitora, aside from just being a wholesome good guy on Marijuana and Dressrosa. Despite not having nearly as many confirmed strength feats, I still believe he deserves his spot at number 17. From what we do know, this guy has one absolutely insane devil fruit that has absolutely insane destructive capability.
Look, this man's a menace, but at this point, I don't see it. Like, who all was in the 20s? I don't see this man this high. I just don't. And he didn't see either.
Abilities. I mean, yes, an individual would, in theory, be able to handle the meteor, but we are still yet to see Fuji also fight someone while slinging a multitude of projectiles at them. While he may not have a lot of feats, still being able to handle Sabo is super impressive to me. So for that, we have the greatest admiral at number 17.
Alright. Figurlin Garling. It's kind of wild that they have this guy who's probably like, I think he was supposed to be built up to be the strongest of the Gorosei.
Now, dear viewer, we have the largest bag fumbler, the biggest crash in reputation since Bellamy in Skypiea. It is none other than Saint Midgarland Darling. Emu's personal lapdog. Yeah, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? But genuinely, this dude is a clown, a dance mom, living off the reputation of his sons. And due to the latest chapter, we have near confirmation that this guy was not, or still isn't, a conqueror. Anyway, Darling, after having a few years to be introduced and settle in, we still only have confirmed feats of dogging on A, restrained bums, B, dead people, and C, his baby's mother. Awesome. Now let me tell you, those aren't exactly the feats that make me believe.
There's no feats for this man, but we're putting him smack dab in the middle of all the weird Gorosei dudes because they just, you know, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
You are going to be some sort of top tier. But listen, we can have a goof and a gaff at this guy all we want, but at the end of the day, he is still a Gorosei. with some sort of nasty mythical Zoran transformation. Oda was telling me that it might be the blobfish no me, but he might have been trolling me a little bit, you know, he's a bit of a jester. Though, I do feel like that would be a pretty fitting devil fruit to this guy's vibe. I mean, truly, this Herald flashback is the single worst PR run for a man I have seen in all of my days. We have people putting this guy at top 5 in the current era before this, and now we've seen this dude get hit with the taunt to get body combo twice in one island. I mean, truly, unlocking regeneration with Emu so that you can lose as many fights as possible in one chapter? Fair play, man. You don't see strategy like this very often. Then we look after the flashback, the Roger Pirates were literally just clip farming on the Holy Knights. We had Millet Pie hitting these clowns with wombos. You know what, for all we know, Buggy was hitting these nasty dunk sessions on the Folly Blights.
Alright, well, we're gonna watch the number 15 Gandhi. We're gonna get into that, but first, too long of a video. We're breaking it up into 2 parts. Next one comes out next Thursday. Definitely be sure to go check it out. Definitely be sure to go check out what I think of the rest of this, because this has already been bad. Crocodile 31 was a rage bait pick. I'm pretty sure. Some of these are ridiculous. I don't fully believe that the admirals that were up here should have been so much higher than, again, literally everyone's number 2. Like, it stands to reason. And I think Sengoku was above everyone's number 2 as well. It didn't. I don't buy any of it. I don't buy it. Anyway, definitely be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Tell me how much you're excited for One Piece. We got the final arc possibly coming up in the near future. I think we're going to have some hype. I think we're going to have some stuff. I think this list would change. I would definitely redo the... Maybe I'll do a list at some point in time. I'm just not doing that right now. Especially with all these characters with giant question marks. But have yourselves the rest of a good evening. Bye-bye.